Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. The New York Giants are running out of receivers faster than Tyreek Hill can outrun a live Perna. How screwed are the Giants? If we thought they were screwed before the injuries? How serious is the AJ Green injury? And should you start addressing Brett Favre as producer? Spoiler, you should. Today, I will jump into the biggest NFL stories from the weekend with all of your help from your posts on the NFL Reddit. I love getting my football info from the NFL Reddit and the Broncos subreddit, and I wanted to acknowledge all of your useful posts by highlighting them here on this show. Now, I hate to admit this, but I think I could listen to Michael Irvin and Stephan A play fight all day, every day.
And the one thing they want to do more than anything is strut around the other billionaires and say, I beat you. Zeke can give him a title to go tell Robert Kraft, I beat you.
And no, it doesn't matter that I don't know what the hell Irvin is saying. He could be talking about season 4 of Billions for all I know.
Give it to him. You're missing the point here. You're missing the point. It ain't just dollars. It's egos that rises the billionaire to the billionaire. Yes, they got the money.
All that matters is that he is passionate. Never, ever doubt a man who is so passionate that he will sweat through 6 layers of clothing to pit stain a $2,000 suit jacket. That's good sports. Number one reason to subscribe to That's Good Sports here on YouTube is I've never pitted out one of my sports jackets. Today, I have big dick Patreon shoutouts for Eric Gabonnet, Bert's High Quality Vodka Merchant, and Nick Hoogerhide. I already gave Nick Hoogerhide a shout out, but the name Hoogerhide deserves a second one. If you want to support this channel, you can do it at patreon.com/thatsgoodsports. Doesn't matter how many times I say the Indianapolis Colts should sign a high-caliber free agent because they never do. However, I sort of called the Detroit Lions landing former Packers defensive lineman Mike Daniels. I always respect when a player signs with a lesser team just for vengeance, or say they will play for only a contender and then land in Detroit or Oakland. The Lions do have a sneaky good defensive line now, but I'm not sure if anyone knows if Matt Patricia can actually be a good head coach yet. When asked why he chose the Detroit Lions, Mike Daniels stated that Matt Patricia and the Detroit team doctors were the first group to recognize that he did indeed have perfect posture. Thanks for the assist, Phil Dunphy. Now my real question today is who signed a better autograph during training camp? JuJu Smith-Schuster, who signed a guy's mohawked head, or Chiefs tackle Andrew Wiley, who signed someone's jewel? JuJu has the advantage of star power, as Andrew Wiley has to identify himself on Twitter as real Andrew Wiley because he always gets confused for Andrew Wiley, the powerful literary agent. Don't be misled by this photo. This guy is the Ari Gold of books. And that's why Wiley's name on an e-cig isn't as impressive as JuJu's name on a bald head. Now, had JuJu signed a jewel, then we'd be talking about something very special. It's basically the same name. What a perfect endorsement, too. If I were an athlete, I would endorse all of the terrible products instead of, shoes. Imagine how much money I would make if I said, the secret to running the fastest 40 time at the combine? These smooth, long-lasting Juul vape pods. Nothing gets me ready for the fourth quarter like hitting that Virginia tobacco pod on the sideline or celebrating a victory with electric strawberry milk. It's got all the flavor and none of the calories of strawberry milk. JuJu also stated,
if he gets that tattoo on his head, I'll get him any tickets to any game.
What a cop-out, JuJu. For the price of a tattoo, that guy can get himself tickets to any game. You literally named the easiest thing you could do for that guy. How about offering to drive him to a real barber, or taking him on a hot air balloon ride, or show him the evidence that makes it okay to play with Ben Roethlisberger? Wait, what? Oh. The guy actually got the tattoo on his head, and JuJu hooked him up with season tickets? Okay, that's actually very cool. Now, Cardinals coach Bruce Arians says he's looking for football players, not soccer players. Has that been the problem in Tampa Bay since Jon Gruden left? Have the Bucs simply been starting soccer players instead of football players? Holy shit, if Arians figured that out after just a couple days of training camp, I think Tampa Bay has a chance to compete for the Super Bowl. Everyone knows the first thing you do as a head coach is spot those sneaky soccer players posing as football players, and you eliminate them by any means necessary. Or you dress boys up as girls and have them dominate on a women's soccer team. But I don't think that's an option in Tampa Bay. When asked about his possible health issues, Bruce Arians said, "If I die on game day, have a drink, celebrate. That way we can say he died doing what he loved, having cardiac arrest." The Bucs also signed Vinny Testaverde's son, Vincent Testaverde. Like his father before him, bouncing around the NFL, Vincent managed to play college ball in 3 different states. Vincent is currently 4th on the Buccaneers depth chart, which means he's just 3 injuries away from being a starter. And Vinny is just 4 injuries away from becoming the first quarterback to replace his son on an NFL team. That would be so like Vinny. Bengals wide receiver and the main reason Andy Dalton still has a job, AJ Green, tore ligaments in his ankle and could miss 6 to 8 weeks. Considering the Bengals' luck though, this could have been much worse. It sounds like AJ Green should be back by week 3 or 4, right when the Bengals are eliminated from playoff contention. Green is seeking a second opinion because trusting the Bengals medical staff is like trusting Dr. Phil to give you a rectal exam. Fool me once, Dr. Phil, shame on you. Fool me twice, I blame Oprah. And the 3rd time? Well, that was just weird. When are you gonna send me my results? That's all I want to know. Anyway, Tyreek Hill, he gave an interview and said, "I have to work on my life skills." Tyreek Hill admitting he needs to work on life skills is like Adrian Peterson admitting he needs to work on his financial skills, Bill Belichick needing to work on public speaking skills, and Dave Gettleman needing to work on not destroying NFL franchise skills. Antonio Brown arrived at Raiders training camp in a hot air balloon. You know, I miss the good old days when players were simpler, humble, and arrived in Brinks trucks. The hot air, of course, was supplied by Jon Gruden when he spent 2 hours listing all of the college bowl games that the Raiders wouldn't be playing in this season.
You got to take their job. You got to take their heart. Are you guys clear about this NFL now? We're not trying to go to the Peach Bowl. We're not trying to go to the Gator Bowl or the Bluebonnet Bowl. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl.
How dare he forget to mention the Fortnite Bowl, the Bagel Boss Bowl, and the lowly Blockbuster Bowl. I can't wait for Hard Knocks to air the clip where Gruden says, "The only way you will ever win in this league is to be so good as a Raider, I trade you to a winning team like the Bears or Cowboys. That's your first class ticket to success, man." It's true, the best way out of Oakland is to be very good at football. When Baker Mayfield was asked about Odell Beckham Jr. since their training camp started, Baker said, "Odell Beckham does things I have never seen before." And when asked for specific examples, Baker elaborated that Beckham does pole dancing workouts to stay in shape in the offseason, drives with his elbows so he can text, and pays with checks at the bar. Checks. Odell Beckham still uses a checkbook. Brett Favre produced a documentary about concussions, which has some interesting stats in it. Like 3.8 million sports-related concussions occur every year in the United States. That number actually went down after Steve Young retired. Another alarming stat, there are 67,000 diagnosed concussions in high school football every year, which seems low when you compare it to the 3.2 million dads trying to relive their glory days through their sons in high school football every year. But that's a different problem for a different day. Maybe the most shocking stat I saw is the one that made me think I would not allow my son to play football, which was concussions are 100% responsible for any dick pic sent to Jen Sturger. All kidding aside, this is probably a really important video, and you should watch it and then tell me if it's any good, because I have to finish Billions tonight and I can't think about concussions or anything really after seeing Paul Giamatti dominated like Richie Incognito trying to read a novel. And finally, the big story from the weekend, the Giants wide receivers are dropping like Lords of the Flies, which is the novel Incognito is struggling through. Yes, his favorite character is Jack, and he pronounces Conch Konich. Over the course of 4 days, this is what happened to the Giants receiving corps. Sterling Shepard, just moments after I touted him as a fantasy wide receiver sleeper, fractured the tip of his left thumb to spite me. Corey Coleman tore his ACL, and he was slated to be the Giants' number 3 receiver and kick returner. And on Saturday, Golden Tate announced he would be suspended for 4 games because he wanted to have kids. Something the NFL is getting bored with after seeing too many Mannings and Bosas come through the league. That's why they're trying to stop Tate. Now, New York signed 2 receivers, TJ Jones and Amba Edetawo, which sounds like a 3-year-old trying to explain that he tried to eat a towel, or Richie Incognito doing a reading for an audiobook. And now the Giants may be relying on former Broncos receivers Benny Fowler and Cody Latimer through the first few weeks of the season. 2 things here. 1, Dave Gettleman is a fucking idiot for trading Odell Beckham Jr., and that is the absolute nicest way for me to say that. 2, the NFL's PED policy is also a fucking idiot. And I could have said that in a nicer way. Golden Tate stated he started treatment prescribed to him by his fertility doctor before discovering it contained an ingredient on the NFL's banned substance list, and that he notified the NFL about the issue well before a failed drug test ever occurred. He's appealing the suspension, and now we have to wait and see if the NFL will do the right thing. It's just not fair for the NFL to suspend Golden Tate for trying to have kids. If that were a punishable offense, Phillip Rivers should be incarcerated and Antonio Cromartie should be on death row. This is an honest question I have. How good at football could fertility drugs make you? He was just a regular guy who was having a tough time conceiving a child until one day he was prescribed a fertility drug by a non-team doctor because team doctors don't really focus on reproduction. Now he can throw a football 90 yards with pinpoint accuracy and is the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. Jake Gyllenhaal stars in Infield Fertilization, the touching story of how PEDs for sperm can win you a Super Bowl. Let's be honest, if that movie got made, it would be better than the new Hellboy. And I really do appreciate your relentless posting of NFL stories in the NFL subreddit. I hope to continue to feature those here. If you see interesting things, please feel free to wait for me to learn how to talk. And send me links on Twitter, @BrandonPerna. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here. Like I said, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, @BrandonPerna. If you want to follow my writing partner, @WillKey6, do so as well. He helps me write. Usually when the joke is good, it's because Will helped me. When it's bad, I still blame Will. And that's how you get to the top.